Okay. It's like very unofficial here. I know. Well, it's because we're taping and everything. Peek behind the scenes. All right. Welcome in, everybody, to Talking Terps this week with Maryland head coach Brenda Frese. Here at Ledo Pizza in College Park, presented by Thompson Creek, a proud partner of the Maryland Terrapins. Thompson Creek designs, builds, and installs replacement windows from their local Maryland factory. You get a high-quality window at an affordable price without the middleman markup. Coach, thanks for being here. Good to see you.
Hey, thanks for having me. Our last one. I'm so sad.
Last one. It is, in fact, the last one. It means we're at the business end of the season. You guys are 23-8 overall after kind of the regular season, the Big Ten tournament, 11-7 in Big Ten play. And this weekend is a big weekend. You kind of find out your fate. You find out if you're hosting on Saturday and then who you're playing on Sunday. Number 17, the latest AP time last year, you guys were number 18 in that poll. And then you obviously made that run to the Sweet 16. Is this kind of a different season? You approach it as like a new season when you get to the postseason, or how do you guys think about that?
Oh, absolutely. It's 0-0. And this time of year, like, the body of work has prepared you and seeing all kinds of different styles and teams. But honestly, it's really about your matchup and what kind of teams you're going to be facing and just going in with momentum of just playing the right way. And, I've shared with the team, I mean, obviously disappointed to lose that first game in the Big Ten tournament, but I've had teams that have, lost their first game in the conference tournament and have gone on to a Final Four. So really, it's just understanding the mindset when you get into the NCAA's is that it's go time. And when you advance, lose, you go home, and you just, want to be collectively playing your best basketball. That's why we're intentional right now with our practices. We're focusing on us and those areas that we can tweak to get a little bit better before we get ready to face our competition.
You mentioned the Big Ten tournament. You guys were number 6 seed in Indianapolis, earned that by a 73-68 loss on Thursday to Oregon. The lead changed 11 times in that game. It was a roller coaster for us all. When you look back on a game like that, what stood out to you the most about how that game unfolded?
So many runs. And, there were great plays for us, our first quarter, our third quarter, I loved how we came out. We punched first. We were really aggressive, but it was a tough shooting night for us from three. I mean, for us to only make 1 3 is really uncharacteristic for us. And, usually that's something we can rely on and count on. So, maybe we had to get it out there to have it, get us to where we need to be here in the NCAA tournament. But we got some great minutes and experience when you talk about for their first tournament with Kendall and Monty and Rainey. I thought Mir, did a great job being able to lead us, Addie. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of great things for us to be able to get experience for our freshmen that I thought they were fearless and confident and really aggressive, which should bode well now as we go into the NCAA tournament.
You mentioned a number of those players, but Mir McLean, Issy Azimamadou, Kendall Walker, and Brandon Williams, Monty combined for 30 points in that game. How encouraging is it to be able to get that kind of production from some of those role players going into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, it's huge, and really where we've been in February, so it's not surprising, but you always do wonder, when you get to these heightened tournaments and the pressure that's there, how players are going to respond. And so I think we got a great snapshot of they're going to continue to be who they've been for us. And, in February as they were trending up, and they've continued to show that what I say at Ohio State, they want the smoke, and they're here for it. And it's huge. We've got to be able to have that kind of bench depth.
The T-shirts are in production for if they want the smoke.
So I get any NIL
royalties? Yeah, royalties, I mean, we can make that work.
Where are we at?
we know people. Alucia Kano scored a game high 27 points in that game, 10 of 18. What has allowed her to kind of grow into that go-to player role?
I'd say first and foremost, she wants it. Yeah. She wants to have that responsibility on her shoulders. She embraces it. She's fearless. Obviously, she can go the length of the court and get downhill better than most out there. I think her and Jelani Cambridge are the two that I, as a matchup is just unbelievable to be able to watch. But, it really has been neat to be able to see her grow with her confidence level from an offensive end here. I mean, she clearly came in defensively and then to be recognized on the all defensive team and first team all conference. But she just, continues, to work and every day I look down from my office down on the court and she's in the gym. And so there's no surprise that the success that she's had is it's a ton of hours behind the scenes putting the work in.
You mentioned kind of obviously the disappointment of that loss in the Big Ten tournament, not going as far as you wanted. What has the response been from the team, both on the floor and also kind of the mental aspect of it too?
Terrific, like it always is. I think we hurt more as a staff for the players because of their pain, and it's like that motherly, you want to fix it and you want to not see that, but at the same point, it's always the response for me by this team, and they're competitive and they're winners, and that's why they've won 23 games. And when they don't win, they want to fix it and they want to get better. And again, you can see that response when you come into our practices. There's no feeling sorry for ourselves or losing confidence. It's like, how do we fix this? How do we get better? And they just put their head down and go to work.
And do some of the players kind of step up, the leaders, the more experienced players, and kind of say, hey, that was not us. We need to kind of fix this going into March.
Yeah, I think they've really grown as a team where the voice is coming from everywhere. And, clearly our leaders and our captains have been that voice, but I'm seeing things from Issy in the last 3 weeks, and her voice matters. It's loud, it's passionate, and it's exactly what needs to be said. And I think, from our freshmen, you're seeing like a confidence level that I say they're no longer freshmen. I mean, you're in March. They've been here 2 semesters. They're thriving on and off the court. So I love being able to see the confidence level and the voice piece for them that has been coming through.
Well, Coach, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to look ahead to the NCAA tournament and the potential for maybe a game in College Park coming up. So stick with us here on Talking Terps with Maryland basketball and Brenda Frese. Back here on Talking Terps with Maryland head coach Brenda Frese, presented by Thompson Creek here at Ledo Pizza in College Park. Hey fans, did you know that the University of Maryland Medical System is the official medical team of the Terps? You and your family can expect the same level of exceptional care that our athletes receive. Learn more at umms.org/better. University of Maryland Medical System, Maryland's healthcare champion. And UMD, are you ready? It's showtime. Grab some Testudo Premium Lager, the official craft beer of the Maryland Terrapins by Union Craft Brewing. Let's go Terps. Coach, it is an exciting time of year. And you've been in this situation many times, kind of awaiting the fate that you guys are going to see. But last time we were here, you mentioned something called February Fresh. It was kind of your guys' mentality. And it was successful. You guys were 6-1 in the month of February. How did you see your team kind of respond to that shakeup down the stretch?
Really well, clearly 6-1. And I think you see those teams that you're going to go one or two ways. Like it's a long season. It can start to feel like Groundhog Day and you'll spiral the other way. And I think just providing perspective for this team. I mean, we're playing in the best conference in the country and that these battles are going to, help you down the road. It's just hard to see when you're playing ranked opponent and top teams every single night. And I think that's the thing is we just had to remind them of who they were and who they are and what lies in our locker room. And I think once we were able to be able to understand that, you saw their confidence grow and their connectedness as a team, and we're able to put those pieces together in February.
You mentioned some of kind of the fun things you guys were doing. What was your personal favorite thing that you guys did in that stretch?
Well, I think, we had a powerful in our film room where we usually show film and go through what we can improve on and what we can get better at. And I made the decision we weren't going to show any film after we had lost to Oregon, and it had been 4 straight in a row, and there was a lot of noise out there, and the most losses ever. And I had them each stand up in the film room and go around with every player to share what they valued and loved about that teammate. And there were some tears that were shed, but the authentic, the love and the caring, the sisterhood that our group has. I mean, really, they were truthful and they were honest, and it was kind of neat to just see the confidence of each player to get that from your peers and your teammates. So I think for me, that was probably the biggest thing. And sometimes it isn't about the X's and O's. It's really about loving them, loving on them, giving them confidence. And that's what I love about sports. It's not just about winning and losing. It's about the lessons that you can teach. And for me, I'm a big believer in helping build women up and knowing that you're going to have way tougher times than losing 4 games in your life after basketball. There's going to be other moments. And so when you can go back to knowing who you are and believing in your that self-confidence, and I think that's probably my most favorite part of coaching is just the mentoring that we get to do every single day. And
you're kind of seeing the payoff of that now going into the March tournament with the connectedness of the team. Currently number 14 in the net rankings. That kind of, they value that really highly. Top 16 host. It would obviously be great to have games here in College Park, again towards the top of the attendance rankings, top 10 in the nation. What is your current assessment of your chances to host? Because you're 3-0 versus the other teams in the mix for that host spot in Michigan State, Kentucky, and Minnesota.
Yeah, well, I know the selection committee always has a really hard job to do. And I always say control what you can control. And, that's why we played the schedule we did. We're up there when you talk about 6 quad 1 wins. And like you said, doing the body of work when you've had those head-to-head matchups of beating Kentucky and Minnesota and Michigan State and having the conference that we play in and night out. So, and we have the best fans in the country. We've shown when we host, like they come out. And so I'm excited to see. It's a new thing on Saturday to find out. They're going to, unveil the 16 teams in alphabetical order of who's hosting. You won't know if you're 1, 2, 3, or 4 seed, but it really helps those schools know so they can start selling tickets. And so that, would be incredible. But either way, whatever hand is dealt with us, I think is meant to be, and we'll be ready. We'll be ready, whoever our matchup is.
You talk about being ready. What are the biggest things that your staff kind of focuses on, but on the stretch between end of the Big Ten tournament and Selection Sunday, because you don't know who you're playing, and then Selection Sunday to that first game?
It's all about us, and it's just where can we kind of move the needle 1%, and so we're ready for March. And so it's circling back on areas, whether it's your defense, your offense, fine tuning different things, your out of bounds plays, your slobs. I've learned over the years not to add new, because what you have is where your team feels confident. I've made that mistake in years past, adding and your kids aren't comfortable with it. They haven't run those sets. So we just really, we'll circle back. We're showing film on our press. And, this is when we were thriving in our press or a different defense, and kind of fine tuning so we have more options to be able to go to in those games.
Coach, we're going to take a break, but before we do, Maryland fans, tune in or join us for the next Talking Terps with Maryland basketball show, presented by Thompson Creek Radio Show at Ledo Pizza in College Park. Stay tuned to all the social media channels, because we'll be making the announcement on when that next one will occur, and we will be back in just a moment with Maryland head coach Brenda Frese. We must stay. Food Line, presenting sponsor of the Score to Give More campaign, is proud to announce that a total of 30,000 meals have been donated this season to our local neighbors in need for free throws made during the regular basketball season. Over 8 million meals and counting have been donated by Food Line Feeds through the Score to Give More campaign to local college pantries and food banks. Maryland head coach Brenda Frese here. Your team got some recognition when those postseason awards came out last week for the Big Ten. You had 4 Terps that were kind of named in that announcement. Alucia Kanawa is kind of the big one. First team all Big Ten by coaches and media. We'd be here all day if I ran out all the categories she's leading in. But some of the big ones, she scored in double figures in 26 of 30 games. That's an incredible clip, and scored 20 or more in 12 games. Leads the Terps in 10th in the league in scoring and all that good stuff. What stands out about the way she approaches the game, both offensively and defensively?
Like what coaches say all the time, she's a dog. I mean, she just excels on both ends of the floor. She plays as hard as she does on offense, she does on defense. And that's what I love about her. She's a two-way player that is never going to take a possession off. I have to save her from herself sometime while she gets tired so she doesn't get a foul to try to get her out ahead of it. But she's a worker, and all she wants to do is win. Yeah. She wants to play the right way. And she understands, like, if as we've had some of their injuries this year, she's understood she's had to increase that scoring load. But she would just as much, like to share it if we had that ability. But she has a sense of what this team really needs. And she's fun to coach. She's competitive. She's comes in with as much energy as you see on the court. That's who she is as a person.
Yarden Garzone, named to the third team by coaches, received honorable mention from the media. Leads the Big Ten, number 12 in the country in three-pointers made, averages 13 points per game and all that great stuff. How Crucial of an addition has she been to your team this year?
Massive. It knows the conference, really, really competitive, high IQ, tremendous worker, and then, spreads the floor for us. We need her to knock down threes. We need to be able to find her to knock down threes, but she spaces the floor for us.
And then Addie Mack, named to the all-freshman team by both coaches and media, started in 23 of the 28 games she played in this year. That maybe wasn't the plan going into this season. What kind of conversations did you and your staff have with her about, that growing role and maybe the mental side of being a freshman thrust right into Big Ten play? Yeah.
Well, I think the cool thing is she always wanted that responsibility on her shoulders, and probably came sooner than she realized it was going to be coming. But I do love the fact that that's how she thought. That's what she wanted. And she really grew into that position. I mean, there's still, from command and vocal and as a freshman point guard, that's tough. There's areas that she's moved that needle, still ways to go with it. But I love the fact that she's a competitive scoring guard that is going to help this team win any way she can. And again, another high motor kid that just wants to win and help her team in any way.
And then Saylor Poffenbarger received a sportsmanship award. A lot of people don't actually know what that is or what that means. I guess, what is that, and why is Saylor so deserving of it?
Well, every team has one, and that's, she exemplifies it both on and off the court. And you look at, someone like Sophie, our team impact player, wears Saylor's t-shirt every single day she comes to a game. And that's the kind of impact that Saylor has had on Sophie and her family. And that's who she is. I mean, she's going to take the time off the court to be there for anyone and as a role model. And then that's the kind of leader she is pulling a teammate aside, going to have lunch or dinner with them. She's always kind of like that mama hen, within our group, but she's very intentional of, taking different players under her wing.
And you mentioned kind of that role. As I understand it, she has kind of adopted Addie Mack as her daughter. I believe they refer to each other as such. How have you kind of seen, two players at the opposite ends of their career kind of build that bond?
It's been a really neat relationship to see that. Sailor has really just, taken her under and just really tried to, help her develop quickly. And I think, honestly, that is a reason why Addie was able to get so comfortable so quickly, within our team and our program, and to kind of look up to a big sister. And Addie's an only child, and Sailor, never had a sister. So it's kind of a neat story to be able to see just how close that bond is. And really, age is just a number. I mean, when you have, those characteristics and a lot of things in common, it's really like, that's the beauty of a team.
Yeah. And, we kind of talked about building those relationships off the court. It's also really important to just kind of think about some other things and reset, especially this time of year. It can be chaotic. It can be busy. You posted on your Instagram yesterday that you and some of your staff are playing pickleball with the caption "Pickleball is life." I imagine that has to be a fascinating sight to watch, because all of you are so competitive. How much trash talk occurs in these pickleball games?
Oh gosh, it's such a release. I mean, first of all, they made permanent pickleball courts up where I live, so I couldn't wait. So we got up there yesterday. And, to be outside and in the sun and find that time. We co-play here on campus, and there's multiple courts in our staff. So there were some of them were feeling a little left out yesterday. But it's massive. And I was so sore last night. I texted him, I'm like, ooh, out of shape. But it's a great release, and, just something that I have found that besides basketball that I really love to do. And I can't work out that hard in anything else. So it's awesome.
Has there been a formal tournament between any of the staff or any people? How official does this get?
No, we want to be friends in the office, and it's almost a requirement though that you need to play. Right. Almost, like we don't. But it's great. It's just like we're so close as a staff, and so I love it. Like we already know the spring, summer, and we set times and we get over there and. On campus. So, it's been a cool, we played nobody like in Puerto Rico, we found at the park, and, we had 4 of us go over. We brought we got paddles at the hotel and went over and played. So we're always going to find a spot. Well,
you might be finding some exciting spots next year, because there's been some game announcements about what is coming up for the Terps. We already kind of knew about Paris and everything, which pickleball in Paris sounds like a great time. But the one just announced today, that UConn matchup is pretty exciting.
Yeah. We always love those matchups. I mean, imagine we're playing South Carolina to open the season, and then UConn in December and at the Barclays Center, and that'll be an awesome environment. Our fans can travel up there. So, the storied program, and it's always a great matchup that goes down to the wire when we play them.
Well, Coach, we are going to tie things up with you in a little bit, but next we're going to be welcoming Ava McKenney to the show to talk with her about all things on and off the court. So stick with us here on Talking Terps here at Ledo Pizza in College Park. Final segment here on Talking Terps at Ledo Pizza in College Park, presented by Thompson Creek. Maryland fans, tune in or join us for the next Talking Terps show with Maryland basketball, presented by Thompson Creek. Stay tuned to all the social media channels, and we'll get you the info on when that will be. Coach, big weekend coming up for you guys. You kind of find out that fate. Do you still kind of get butterflies in your stomach on Selection Sunday after all these years, or how do you approach that these days?
Of course. Yes, it's like Christmas. You wake up on Sunday and you know it's Christmas, and you're going to find out who you're playing with. This time we'll know if we're, by Saturday, if we're at home or going somewhere on the road. But those matchups are really key. I wish the show was a tad bit earlier so we could start watching film if they asked me. But it's awesome. We have a selection show, a selection Sunday, or how we've have our fans come in and be a part of it, which I love that, because then our players are around and kind of a way to thank our fans and to see what our fate's going to be.
You all find out together at the same time. It's an exciting experience. So that selection show party is at the Xfinity Center on Sunday. Doors will open at 7 for the show that starts at 8 p.m., which, yes, is a little bit late. People have bedtimes and other things to attend to. But you've been in a lot of NCAA tournaments. What do you try to pass along to your players about embracing this moment?
Exactly what you're saying is not, every team gets this opportunity. And so, understanding just the gratitude piece and just the hard work that they've put behind it. But then, then you got to go to work, and you can't make it bigger than what it is either. It's a basketball game. Like if our seniors go in thinking it could be their last game, then you play tight and under duress. And, we've got to be the same confident, aggressive team. You've got to be able to rely on what you've done all season long and the habits that you've developed. So I think it's important to, celebrate on Sunday and then get down to work, because all these teams, like, it's a different mentality and wiring. Like, nobody wants to lose, and they're going to put everything out there.
Coach, you mentioned this is our final show. So I guess, do you have any kind of closing thoughts or message to the fans that have been with you guys all year long?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, just thank you. I'm always so grateful for, every season, and just to watch, we're top 10 in attendance again, and consistently just year in and year out, just what our fans mean to our team and our program. And, hopefully it's not our last home game. I mean, I'm hopeful that we'll be hosting, and if so, I mean, you guys were the X factor last year when we all remember that Alabama game and what it took to get to a Sweet 16. So, going to need everyone to come out and support this team if we are hosting, and if we're not, come wherever we're at, and the last final push.
Yeah, book those hotels or just gas up the car for the drive to College Park. So, Coach, thank you for everything today and this season. It's been a pleasure working with you guys
thank
this
you so
year.
much.
We are all behind you when it comes to March. So for Maryland head coach Brenda Frese, for Ava McKinney, and our engineer Claude Jennings, I'm Brendan Hartlove saying so long from Ledo Pizza in College Park. Presented by Thompson Creek, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Maryland Terrapins. Whether you're buying or selling basketball tickets, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek, so Terrapin fans can fan. We're now joined by Ava McKenney, sophomore on the Maryland women's basketball team. Great to see you.
You too.
So the last time you and I talked, you were in the middle of a pretty big Lego build of a Jeep. Where do we currently stand on the Jeep?
We finished.
We did?
Jeep.
Okay.
Yes,
I would hope so. It's been quite a while.
It's been quite a while. Yes, I take a little bit less time to do Legos now.
Yeah.
But I'm not really doing any right now.
Yeah.
I've done all the ones I got. I've done lots of flowers, so my room is very much botanical and pretty for the summertime.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I mean, I remember you saying that you really enjoyed that because it's not only something to do, but then it decorates your room and you have decor and everything.
Yes.
It works out really,
Right
really
now
well.
I might be taking up space, but yes, it's definitely decor.
It's all about perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So, we haven't talked to you in a while. It's been a difficult season for you with the ACL injury. I guess, where are you kind of at in the recovery process right now?
It was definitely hard. Right now in the recovery process, I'm in a really good spot. I think I've really hit the section of my recovery where it's building back that muscle and building back that confidence in myself to come back next season. But really, I'm just blessed with the support I've received from coaches, staff, family, fans, just everybody that goes so quick. That's what I think I was worried about most, is how long it would take. It feels like the weeks I was on crutches went fast. The weeks when I couldn't move and do squats went fast, and now I'm just in this really great area for myself.
What do you think you kind of learned about yourself in that process? Because it is a really difficult thing to go through physically, obviously, but the mental aspect of it really kind of gets overlooked sometimes.
I think I really learned that I need to take more time to look at basketball. I feel like I rushed in my freshman year. I was like, I wanted to play. I wanted to do all these things.
Yeah.
I was trying to develop my body, and I didn't really take the time to mentally prepare and get myself ready to take on the roles I wanted to take on and I thought I could take on. So I feel like I've really started preparing with myself, whether that be watching film, watching my teammates develop, just taking a step back to really see what this process can be if I use it to the utmost possibilities it has for me.
And unfortunately, there have been several of you that have had the injuries this season kind of been ruled out for the year. Did you guys kind of find support in each other? Because some of you are going through similar injuries, some not maybe as much, but you're all kind of experiencing a similar thing.
Absolutely. The training room is the most fun place to be when you're injured. I mean, we're there all the time. So whether it be me and Leia just enjoying our recovery process, we had similar injuries and we're on pretty similar timelines. So we have to do a lot of the hard stuff together. I cheer her on when she breaks a new milestone. She cheers me on when I reach that point too. And then we finally have KK back in our training room and things like that. So watching all of us just develop and get back to where we know we can be, it just makes the three of us closer, and then it makes us closer with everybody that comes in the training room, even though we don't want to see them anymore.
Right.
We don't need them in there. We only want to see them in one place, and it's not the training room.
Right, exactly. Have there been any other players, either currently on the team or in the past, that you've kind of reached out to that have maybe been through something similar, and they're on the other side of it, that has kind of given you, that little bit of hope to kind of get through it all?
Bree has been one of the biggest supporters of me. I remember when I went down, it was such an emotional experience of that game. Yeah. But her, KK, and some people that I seen them gone through it, but then the support they gave me immediately just it made it easier. Bree immediately came to my room. She was there for me. She supported me in everything I could do. And I remember when I was a freshman, I got her this ginormous Squishmallow when she got injured, and she returned the favor this year. Aww. So it's just that return on investment almost.
Yeah.
That we just have this mutual understanding that we will all be there for each other, and then the experience they have is just monumental. And
also, Bree McDaniel is the ultimate hype woman for anyone and anything.
Anybody.
To have her in your corner, you are immediately just raised to another level.
If you had to make a prototype for a hype person you needed behind you, that's Bree McDaniel.
That's her to a T. We had her on the show last time we were doing it here, and she is just infectious energy. You also have infectious energy.
Thank you.
And whether that's off the court, on the court, I believe there's something called the Benergy Award. Is that
Benergy? Yes.
What is that?
We have a big pink Energizer bunny that we give off. So it's just about not even being the loudest, but being just present in every game. You don't have to be on the court for your presence to be felt and for your impact to be felt.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that the coaches really emphasize with that award, whether that just be constantly talking to a point it becomes annoying for some people on the bench, or whether that just be leading the chants, being there when they first step off the court to get their head where they need it to be. But it's not about inputting our advice, because that's what the coaches need to do. It's just about providing energy and support that sometimes can waver, but energy is something you always have.
What do you think is your kind of philosophy when it comes to energy and stuff like that. You have some people that are, the super hype, super vocal. Others are more the kind of pick you up type of thing. Where do you find yourself in that?
I find myself in, I'm not going to try and give you a pep talk because I'm going to be honest, I may not know where to hit the mark, but I will have all the energy you need. If you need someone to just like scream with you, hey, I got you. If you need someone to like dance it out or something, I got you. I don't do much else right now, so I can always have that. I've always got the energy for when anybody needs it.
One of my favorite moments of the season, I don't even remember this, it was the Golden Girls theme game that we had. And before the game, there's not many people out there yet before the team comes out to warm up and everything. I'm often, as the broadcaster, one of the only ones sitting at the table. I'm sitting there finishing up some notes, and all of a sudden I just hear somebody belting out the Golden Girls theme song a cappella. And I look up and it's you on your crutches in a gray wig and glasses coming out and just your life.
Absolutely.
That seemed like a pretty fun day for you.
If my dream in life is to be a Golden Girl when I'm older, I grew up on that show, and I hope I find the friends that those women have that we can just live our lives wreaking havoc wherever that may be.
Which of the Golden Girls do you think you are? Which do you most identify with?
It's most likely Dorothy. I hate it, but it is most likely Dorothy, whether that be a height standpoint or my sarcasm. It just has to be that. And my mother will be following me around for the rest of my life. So we have that in common. But I love my mom. Love you.
So I think you might be one of the only people under the age, and I won't actually attribute a number to it, that, grew up watching the Golden Girls. How did that come about? Was it just on? Is it something that somebody showed you?
No, I was lucky enough. After school, I went to my grandma's house in middle school. So it was always that afternoon television show that like nobody else ever wanted to watch, but I was happy to just sit and watch. And then that's really where I fell in love with a lot of like old school things, whether that be Golden Girls, Dolly Parton, just any of those things. I was just after school activities that to other people didn't seem normal. To me, it was like an everyday thing.
Well, if we're going to take a quick break, thank you for being a friend. We will be back with more Talking Terps right after this. Pizza in College Park for the Talking Terps show, here with Maryland women's basketball team. And Maryland fans, tune in or join us for the next Talking Terps show with Maryland basketball, presented by Thompson Creek at Ledo Pizza in College Park. Stay tuned for all the details on that on the Maryland social media channels. So if we were just talking during the break, last time, at least I was hosting the show, and we did it with the women's team. We talked to Bree McDaniel, who we talked about how she's the ultimate hype woman. She's also one of the better chefs on the team as well. Can you confirm or deny that Bree is a legit cook?
I can confirm. We've established on the team roles. Bree's role is as the cook. Okay. That is one thing we do not argue over. Nobody tries to challenge that. She can hold that position. She is our Thanksgiving Day chef for those who can't go home or anything like that. She's the meal prepper for anybody who's sick. She is just there for you with the food. Absolutely.
What is your role? If you kind of have these assigned roles, what is yours?
I have to say it's a mix between a few things.
Hybrid
Sometimes,
role.
yeah. Sometimes I'm the younger sister who just needs to pick on you and annoy you to make sure you remember I'm there. Just like I stick to my younger sibling role to 1,000%. Other times it's just the encyclopedia of random knowledge. I love fun facts, and for some reason now they all think I just know things. So they'll come to me with a question. Whether I'm right or wrong, I speak with great authority. So
Stack
it's just their
confident.
problem if they check it.
Yeah,
Whether
that
or
is,
not it's wrong is their fault.
I gave you an answer. I
Yeah.
didn't say it was the answer.
You trust this answer, so sure, that is the answer.
No, those are actually two very important roles within any dynamic, is kind of the group encyclopedia and also the group pest. I think is something that is not a responsibility you should take lightly. You talked about the younger sibling energy. That is because you are, in fact, a younger sibling.
Yeah.
Your brother Ellis played football here. And before we kind of dive further into that, correct me if I'm wrong, he was part of one of those contests between one of the quarters. Was he putting up half-court shots?
I would like to deny my ownership of him after that performance.
They haven't spoken since.
Yeah. He tried to get out of it saying he used the heavy ball. I confirmed that was a lie. But yes, he was a part of a half-court contest where he didn't hit the rim. So I think he needs to stick to football. Yep, football and being a lawyer. Those are his two successful things, not half-court shots.
Very rarely do those two things overlap, too.
Yes.
But,
you would think with the headshot, the lawyer job would not be, but hey, he's succeeding.
So I think, what advice did you give him after that? Or was it advice or critique? Because I feel like those are two different things.
No advice. The advice I gave him, never do it again. That was my advice.
Don't publicly humiliate yourself.
Do, we will not have the same last name. You can use something else, but when I officially have my name on the back of my jersey again, you cannot come out saying Ellis McKenney shooting the half-court shot and then airball. We're not doing that.
It was a tough scene because Sarah Myers, my broadcast partner, knows Ellis and was videotaping and heckling, which is the first time I'd ever seen Sarah heckle anybody. She's the sweetest person on the face of the earth. But he may or may not have deserved it. I'll leave that up to the public.
When you meet Ellis, he's nice. But when you meet Ellis, you know he can be deserved to be heckled.
So when you and I talked over the summer, we did the kind of interview series before the season. We were talking about the role that he played in your recruitment because he came here. But you were saying that, he never really pushed you to come to Maryland. It was perhaps a little bit of reverse psychology.
Yeah.
How did he kind of help navigate you through what's a difficult and complicated process?
He mainly did it by reminding me of how he went through college, like what was really impactful for him and what he would have wished he had in college. Like it was all just the pros and cons that he had here in Maryland. And then when I was going through my process, he helped me go through every pros and cons I could. And whether that be ice cream for judgmental about if you had bad ice cream, or the family atmosphere, which was really important to me. I think it was really just about where I alone, because at that point I was going alone and I'm entering a new family. That's exactly what going to college and being a part of these programs is. You're entering a new family. Yeah. So when I was able to go to all these different places, I realized Maryland was my family, is my family. And even my injury now has solidified that they are family. Yeah, family picks you up during the toughest times. That's one of the things that creates it. And so I guess, you now are, as you kind of said, no longer alone. How have you seen that Maryland family grow over the course of the season? Because we last checked in kind of over the summer, but there's some tribulation since then. Yeah, it just grows like any family. There's growing pains, there's fighting, there's siblings. That's what needs to happen. Yeah. But at the end of the day, in practice, it stops and we remember we're sisters. We love each other. We go hard in practice. We push each other in practice. And then off the court, we hang out. We're friends. We do everything we can together. And it's just about balancing those things and then remembering that, at the end of the day, we have the same goal. We all want to do well. We all want each other to do well. And by doing that, it just helps us in the family aspect. I also want to ask you about something we talked about that I'm curious how it's gone this season. It's the book club that you and Mira McLean have. When trying to recruit people into it. Yes. Monty was not exactly a successful addition. No. Where do we currently stand with the state of the book club? I hate to say the book club is in a rough state. Yeah. Because me and Mira, we entered a little drought ourselves with reading. So Mira is getting close to being kicked out of book club, and then it's Ava's book club. Well, there's two people. Alone. Okay, and then it's Ava's book club alone because Mira's been struggling to read. Monty has been denied access. Remind people if they didn't see the interview why that was. Because her choice in books is questionable. She prefers history, and that is not discussed in book club. We do not like that. She can go talk to her father and other people, but that is not our choice of topic. I'm still recruiting actively. Rainey's getting there. Actually, yes. She's very much developing. So is Leia. They are both reading the same series. So I'm actually very much invested in their potential ticket into the book club. Okay, because that was the thing is you and Mira have different tastes. So you were never reading the same book. And Rainey and Leia are actually reading the same genre as me. So I think it may become a romance, and Mir's just kicked out.
I was going to say, it sounds like Mir might be on the outside looking in.
Mir may be on the outside for a little while.
Well, we will have to keep tabs on that because that is one of the subplots of the season. Ava, it's great to see you. Best of luck with the rest of your recovery. And we're all behind you guys in the tournament.
Thank you so much.
Maryland sophomore Ava McKinney, everybody. We'll be back to wrap things up with Maryland head coach Brenda Frese right after this.